They didn't even know her name. She sat in the back, never raised her hand, and spoke only when spoken to. To them, she was just that quiet girl. But the quiet ones, they're the ones you need to watch. Because when they finally speak, they don't just talk. They shift the whole room. This is the story of Samantha Lynn Carter, the girl they forgot until she became unforgettable. Samantha lived in the small town of Asheville, North Carolina. Population, just enough to know your secrets and spread them like wildfire. Her mom worked the night shift at the local nursing home. Her dad? Gone since she was 8. They lived in a 2-room apartment above a garage that smelled like gasoline and wet leaves. Every morning, Samantha walked 2 miles to school, even in snow, even when her only coat had a broken zipper. She sat alone at lunch, not because she liked it, but because being alone hurt less than being laughed at. Her voice? Soft, cracked, rarely heard, but she listened to every insult, every joke, every whisper that wasn't meant for her to hear. They called her names, charity case, mumble mouse. No one, what they didn't know was that Samantha wrote, in old notebooks, napkins, the back of receipts. She wrote poems, speeches, letters to a future she hadn't met yet. Every word was a secret weapon, waiting. Then came the day that changed everything. Mr. Thompson, the English teacher, announced a school-wide speech competition. Topic, asterisk, what matters most. Asterisk, everyone groaned. Everyone except Samantha. That night, she sat under a flickering bulb and wrote like her soul was on fire. On the day of the contest, the gym was packed. Students filed in with eye rolls and snacks. The finalists were predictable. Class president, football captain, honor student. Samantha wasn't even on the list. But when one speaker backed out last minute, Mr. Thompson turned to her and said, "Do you want a shot?" Her hands trembled, but her voice, it was ready. She stepped up to the mic. Silence. People snickered. Then she began. They told me I was too quiet to matter, too poor to be seen, too broken to belong. But here I am, and I have something to say. You could hear a pin drop. She spoke about losing her dad, about watching her mom break her back for rent, about being invisible in a school full of people with perfect lives and Instagram followers. What matters most, she asked. Kindness, listening, the courage to show up even when no one is watching. By the time she finished, the whole gym was on their feet. The same people who once laughed now stood in tears. From that day on, everything changed. Samantha started a podcast, asterisk the quiet ones. Asterisk, she got letters from students all over the country, kids who felt small, invisible, unheard. She gave them space. She gave them hope. The girl who once spoke last now spoke first. Her story went viral. Local news picked it up. Then Good Morning America. Then scholarships poured in, not because she was loud, but because she was real. Years later, she returned to Asheville High, not as a student, but as the keynote speaker. She looked out at a new crowd of faces, nervous, curious, hopeful, and she said, if you ever felt like no one saw you, if your dreams feel too quiet for this loud world, speak anyway. Whisper if you have to, but speak, because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs your truth. And in the back row, a little boy wiped his eyes, clutching a tattered notebook, because sometimes all it takes is one voice to tell the rest of us that being quiet doesn't mean you have nothing to say. It just means you're saving your words for the right moment. And when that moment comes, the world will listen.